This episode of Epps World Entertainment is brought to you by Free the Alpha, coffee and tea for their authentic you. These people not only sell you coffee and tea, they sell you premium coffee and tea. This stuff is awesome and worth the price. We got whiskey aged barrel coffee flavor, which journeyed from Guatemala, from pounds to ounces. We got the Max Caf blend of coffee that you could have high caffeine. It just depends on how much you can, how much your body can actually take, how much of that alpha you want to get out. And then we also have different flavors of tea: Earl Grey loose leaf tea, hibiscus berry tea, an herbal blend for adventurous spirits. We've got mango treat infused tea. And then they also got gear. The gear itself, listen, I was lucky enough to be sent a hoodie from these people, and it's, I have to say, comfortable. We got different things on here that will literally satisfy you and keep you nice and warm, because guess what? They want to free your inner alpha. If you go to the website, Free the Alpha, and use the promo code Korey Photo 13, that's Korey Photo 13, you will get a 20% off discount of your order today. So go over to freethealpha.com right now. Click the link in the description, and don't forget to use that promo code. One more time, I'm going to say it: Korey Photo 13 right now. Welcome to the podcast. How's everybody doing today? Well, there's a lot that kind of happened this week. First off, happy Captain America week for everybody who's going to see Captain America Brave New World. I'm actually looking very, whether the reviews are good or bad, I'm pretty much looking forward to seeing this, to be honest with you. It seems like Anthony Mackie has been having a pretty good week as far as this movie. It's actually supposed to, from what I'm hearing and understanding, the movie is going to be doing so-so. Kind of meeting in the middle, but we'll know what the weekend is, because it's also, President's Day coming up. So President's Day weekend, we'll have the whole weekend actually see what the actual box office will look like. It's projected to pretty much do about, let's see, over the President's Day weekend, it's supposed to do about 95 mil. Globally, 190 million. But that's, we'll see. And I mean, like I said, Anthony Mackie seems to be having a pretty good week as far as what has been going on. He's supposed to be the Grand Marshal at the Daytona 500 this year, so that's pretty good. That's actually pretty cool. He's actually talked about it on Jimmy Kimmel this past week, talking about what it's like and how that feels and what it feels to kind of be like. He's also talked on the red carpet and what it feels like to be Captain America, picking up that mantle and whatnot. So if you guys get a chance to go check out those videos, one of them's on Good Morning America. The other one, like I said, is on Jimmy Kimmel. A new Game of Thrones spinoff is about to happen. Spinoff about House Targaryen is in the works, from Deadline. We have other spinoffs that we're working on right now, one of which I won't get into, very promising, and is still the Targaryen line. So it sounds like they're trying to build this whole Game of Thrones like world. I'm assuming. especially focusing on a Targaryen bloodline. I want to know. I'm not a big Game of Thrones person. I'm not a big, I kind of like Lord of the Rings here and there somewhat, but I'm also not really I'm not really a big fan. I'm not gonna say big fantasy guy. I'll play fantasy, but that's about it. It's hard for me to kind of get into something, commit to something like that. Plus, I don't know. Game of Thrones has always been kind of graphic to me, and I know that's saying something if you know me. The Last of Us will likely have 4 seasons, confirms HBO. So if you've ever played the Last of Us video games, there's only 2 video games. This TV show, by the way, has Pedro Pascal in it. It's one of the many different things that he's been doing for the past couple of years. And I'm wondering how this story will go, because Joel and Ellie's story kind of, I'm assuming, end in the second video game somewhat. I haven't really played the second video game, because I played a little bit of the first one. The first one kind of broke my heart in a good way. Just first 12 minutes. If you've ever played the first 12 minutes of that game, oh my God, you're heartbroken completely. And you're just like, where do you go from here? So, but I'm interested to see what they can do, because like the first season was literally, the first video game. Second season, I'm assuming, is going to be like the second video game. So, somehow they're going to stretch that out. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. Thunderbolts director, Jake Schroeder, I'm going to butcher that name. Anyway, on Taskmaster and how Taskmaster fits in the team, he says, I think we enjoy playing with that mystery. If you guys don't know, Taskmaster was last seen in the Black Widow movie, so we haven't really seen a Taskmaster in a long time. Taskmaster at the end of Black Widow, if you've never seen it before, spoilers. Also, where have you been if you've never seen it before? Taskmaster comes to. She was brainwashed by her father after and reprogrammed in the Red Room, and was basically the perfect killer, can mimic any of the heroes pretty much. But by the end of Black Widow, she was kind of out of that. Also, from the Empire magazine, both of these are from Empire magazine. Hannah John Kamen on people viewing Ghost as a villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp. She never was a villain. She was just misunderstood, which is correct in that, because she was somebody who was very, very much misunderstood as far as that, movie went. She just wanted help, but she kind of went to what she knew. She was trained by S.H.I.E.L.D., so she went by what she knew in order to try to get safe. So, moving on, HBO confirms Euphoria Season 3 will likely be the last season. I believe that, because you got Sydney Sweeney and then you got Zendaya, who are 2 of the biggest stars in the world right now. Especially Sydney Sweeney, who's everywhere at this point. Zendaya's been everywhere, especially since the Spider-Man movies. But literally, they are, I would say, maybe too big for the show, for TV at this point. I mean, I know it's HBO. It's not TV, it's HBO. But still, it's one of those shows that, where else can you take this character? But that's a good thing. 3 seasons, it's not something that will go on forever. That means you don't have to sit there and stretch out anything when it comes to these characters, pretty much. So, Euphoria is on HBO Max. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. I think they have 2 specials too. And then also, it's official, Valentina from Marvel Universe, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, has been sworn in as Director of National Intelligence. Uh-oh. So if you guys haven't checked out anything that Julia Louis-Dreyfus has been in as far as the Marvel stuff, she first showed up and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and actually she was supposed to show up. No, she first showed up at the end of Black Widow, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then, she kind of appeared here and there. The last time we saw her was in Wakanda Forever. And she is now the Director of National Intelligence, and she seems to have an ulterior motive. So we'll find out what exactly her motives are when it comes to the Thunderbolts. In video game news, Borderlands 4 trailer dropped today, and it was announcing the date of when Borderlands 4 comes out. Borderlands is due to hit September 23rd, 2025, which is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I played, I think, Borderlands 2 and then the pre-sequel. I had all the games, but then after my PlayStation went zip, I couldn't play anything anymore for, a long while. I still don't have a PlayStation at this point. I wish I did. I'd be streaming with you guys completely right now. But, they were fun games. A lot of people don't like the pre-sequel, though. And, of course, the last Borderlands thing that anybody saw was the Borderlands the movie with Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black. I think Jamie Lee Curtis was in it at some point. So, yeah, it was a movie that was good for a fun time watch, like maybe once. Because then after that, you guys are like, what did we just watch? A little bit. Especially since Cate Blanchett's character is way younger in a video game than her. So, Planet of the Apes sequel coming in the works. Movie 2 is almost always the best. West Ball teases the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes sequel planned after VFX Oscar nomination. Planet of the Apes franchise is far from over. Following the success of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and their recent Oscar nomination for Best Visual Effects, director Wes Ball and key members of the film creative team, Danielle Emmerman, Paul Story, and Eric Winquist, sat down with Collider's Perry Nemiroff to discuss the film's journey and the future of the franchise. While nothing is officially in pre-production yet, it is clear that another installment is in the works, and that the team has big ideas for where the story could go next. When asked about the possibilities of Apes movies, Ball didn't hold back his enthusiasm for expanding the franchise, and while he was too obviously keen not to go into too many details about the plot, his excitement was clear. So yes, before I read what he said, it kind of seems like, so what happened was you had Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Well, first, okay, let's go back first. First you had the OG Planet of the Apes. I think there was like 5 or 6 of those movies. And then you had the Mark Wahlberg one, and Tim Burton directed that one. That wasn't too well, received. And then you have the 3 before Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Rise, Dawn, and War. Which, picked up on Caesar's timeline, and they did really well. This one seems like a whole other team has been put into it and has picked up the ball completely. And I honestly agreed. I loved that last movie. Let's see. Ball said, yeah, we're talking about it. That's all I can say, really. But I'm greedy. I've got multiple things that I'm playing with right now. I'd love to do all of them, but there are so many cool places that we could go with the next one. We have these ideas of where we want to go. Things are set up in the movie that you don't even realize are setups. But movie 2 is almost always the best one of the trilogy. He does say almost. Although, if you look at Indiana Jones, I guess Temple of Doom is pretty good. That's the way it works. That's where all the drama is, where all the conflict is, and that's where this really dark stuff happens, or really consequential stuff happens. And this character of Noah and how much he is changed by these events of this movie, the fact that we set up all these characters and we've kind of set this runaway for where ultimately we could go, we have in our minds and are super, and it's super exciting. So, and this is from Collider. You guys go finish reading the whole thing at Collider. So yeah, that, I'm looking forward to myself, just because I love the Planet of the Apes franchise just from the beginning. Watching the old ones back in the day, when I was a kid, I loved watching stuff like that. Marvel Studios, more Marvel news. Marvel Studios is reportedly considering Jenna Ortega for a big role in the MCU. So Jenna Ortega, for those who don't know, Miss Wednesday Addams might be joining the MCU. Who could you guys see her join? Now, we've already seen her play one Marvel character before. In SNL skit, she played Rogue. So I thought that was pretty funny. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go check out that SNL skit where she plays Rogue. But other than that, who do you guys seriously think she could play? This is via Daniel RPK. You guys go check him out on X, formerly known as Twitter. So, and then of course, someone actually put up a good thing of her dressed as she could possibly be Kitty Pryde. Maybe I could see her as Kitty Pryde. She just go through walls, and that'd be kind of funny. Another exclusive from Deadline. A beloved actor is poised to play a beloved Harry Potter character. 6-time Emmy winner John Lithgow is in final negotiations to portray Professor Albus Dumbledore in HBO's high-profile series adaptation of the hugely popular fantasy books. Sources tell Deadline. I don't know. He might have the gravitas. So let's go back. Richard Harris was the original Dumbledore. He played in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone in some other places, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And then, of course, he passed away. And then Michael Gambon played Albus Dumbledore for the rest of the Harry Potter films, up until the end. And then they did the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and that's where Jude Law picked up the role of Dumbledore in the second Fantastic Beasts movie, which they only did 3 of those. So I wonder, and I know John Lithgow is a really good actor. He's actually one of those actors that could do pretty much anything you watch him in. I loved him in Third Rock of the Sun. I'm wondering how, I am interested in seeing how he handles this. Because if he can play Dumbledore, holy crap. So, wow. And other news, if you guys don't know about it already, Matthew Lillard is coming back along with a few other faces for the next Scream movie. Matthew Lillard's had this second, like, I know he's kind of been out of the spotlight for a long time and whatnot, but not because, like, he was always acting, especially voice acting. He was Shaggy for a long time. But, like, he's getting this, like, huge comeback. He's back in the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie, of course. He's coming back for Scream. I'm super excited. He's been popping up a lot on TikTok, too. So, I'm super excited to see how they handle that, because in the first movie, everybody assumed he died, but a TV fell on him, electrocuting him. But, I mean, throughout most of those movies, you gotta shoot somebody in the head in order to get him. That's always the signature, is shooting somebody in the head. And we didn't get to see Matthew Lillard get shot in the head, so, I mean, maybe in a deleted scene, but I doubt that. And some tech news. Technology news. Did you know that Apple TV is now available for your Android devices? So, your Android devices can now have Apple TV. I wonder what took them so long. I guess they're just trying to expand a little bit. Who knows? So, I'm hoping that that they do, like, I guess, I don't know how to feel about it, because I'm not against it at all. I mean, if you put Apple TV on your Roku and, have it on your computer and whatnot, why not, Also, as I'm recording this right now, it is Tara Strong's birthday. Voice actress extraordinaire. She was Miss Minutes, of course, in Loki. And can you guys guess how old she is? That's right, she's 52. She's 52 and she looks damn good. So, good on you, girl. We are less than a month away from the first episode of Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil Born Again, of course, picks up where I guess the Netflix series ends. That's sort of kind of probably where She-Hulk kind of ended a little bit. So, it's one of those, it's one of those things where, you're kind of looking forward to it, but you gotta kind of know exactly where he's at. I'm making some predictions, by the way, of this show. I call it right now, Foggy Nelson gets killed within the first, episode, completely. Maybe the first 15 minutes. I'm calling it right now, because things are going to be good. They're back from the blip and whatnot and all that, We find out, we'll catch up, of course, with Daredevil during the blip, but I feel like that he's probably going to end up getting killed a little bit. Dave Bautista from comicbook.com, Dave Bautista says he would return for Guardians 4 on one condition. Dave Bautista would return to play Drax in the MCU on one condition. In an interview with comicbook.com to promote his new movie, In the Lost Lands, in theaters, by the way, March 7th, the actor opened up about his time in the MCU and laid out his terms to reprise Drax in a potential Guardians of the Galaxy 4. He would only be open to it if James Gunn, who is now the co-head of DC Studios, was involved and asked him to do it. While Bautista admits there's a slim chance of that happening, he hasn't completely shut the door for the MCU return in general. He revealed that conversations with the filmmaker has expressed interest in any role. Drax is completely closed off to me unless James Gunn called me and asked if I would do something as Drax. I just wouldn't be interested, Bautista said. If James called me, which obviously is not going to happen, he's doing okay and he's going to be, he's gone a different route, he added, referencing Gunn's current position in DC. But I do want to be in that world. I'm a fan of that world. I'm a fan of comic books and the whole universe, Batista, regarding the prospects of taking on a different character. Marvel, DC, I just want to be in it. I mean, I made that known to James, made that known to the Russo brothers. Personally, I talked to them, all of them, and told them, don't count me out if there's a character that I'd be right for. And that you want me for, man. I mean, I'd be totally open-minded to it. It's just Drax's character ran its course. So Batista is not shutting down comic book movies. He's not shutting down any of that. But he is definitely saying that he feels like he needs a new challenge when it comes to the comic book movie. I say put Batista in there as far as, you know, like put him in a DC universe. See how he does there. Who could he be? I don't know. If you guys are listening to this, please tell me, who could Dave Batista play in the DC universe? All right. And then finally, let's see. What can we end with, guys? Oh, here we go. And some kaiju news, some Godzilla news. Takahashi Zaki, my bad, has confirmed that scripting and storyboarding for his next Godzilla film has begun. So if you guys don't get where this is coming from, Godzilla Minus One director Takahashi Zaki, my bad, is in the works right now making a new Godzilla movie. If you guys haven't seen Godzilla Minus One, go see it. Honestly, I watched it and it's not really necessarily a monster movie per se, you know? It is honestly a human movie. Like, it literally is a human movie. You know, and it kind of shakes to the core. Like, it focuses on what happened after the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. You know? And it's kind of crazy, you know? And then finally, I want to give a good farewell to Netflix's Cobra Kai. This show started on YouTube. I mean, when YouTube had their, like, premium TV service. And it literally took on its life of its own. Now, for anybody who doesn't know anything about Cobra Kai started, of course, with Karate Kid and went all the way to Karate Kid, focusing on Daniel LaRusso, you know, who was the Karate Kid for a long time. And then when Cobra Kai came, the premise was literally to focus on, you know, that guy that Daniel beat in the first movie? Let's focus on him. And it turned into like this big world phenomenon. So everybody's watching Cobra Kai. It's in its final season right now. We're in part 3 of the final season and the episodes. It literally ends as I'm recording this right now, February 13th of 2025. So you guys, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Go finish it, because the next Karate Kid thing we're getting is Karate Kid Legends. And we're getting Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio on it. So, and that's it, guys. That is it for the podcast. I hope everybody's doing well. Go see Captain America. Go watch something nerdy this weekend. Go finish. There's so much to do this President's Day weekend. I'm going to try to go see Captain America and finish, I'm about to say Karate Kid, Cobra Kai this weekend. All right. You guys keep on being nerdy. Keep on listening to the nerdy. Keep on listening to Epps World Entertainment.